Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga has pulled out of October's election rerun. Mr. Odinga said his withdrawal would give the Electoral Commission enough time to introduce reforms that will help deliver a more credible election. The Supreme Court annulled the result of the original 8th of August poll, which saw Uhuru Kenyatta declared winner, after finding irregularities. But Mr. Kenyatta says he is ready to proceed with the new vote as planned. The country's Electoral Commission said Mr. Kenyatta had won the August vote by a margin of 1.4 million votes, or 54% of the total, compared to Mr. Odinga's 44%. Kenya's Vice President, William Ruto, has now called on the Commission to declare Mr. Kenyatta president as a result of Mr. Odinga's announcement. The election rerun was due to take place on 26 October, but Mr. Odinga said on Tuesday, "We have come to the conclusion that there is no intention on the part of the Electoral Commission to undertake any changes to its operations and personnel. All indications are that the election scheduled for 26 October will be worse than the previous one. As a result," he said, "considering the interests of the people of Kenya, the region and the world at large, it was best that he withdrew from the race." Mr. Odinga's coalition party believes the election will have to be cancelled as a result of his withdrawal, allowing adequate time to undertake the reforms necessary to conduct an election that is in strict conformity with the Constitution, the relevant laws and the Constitution. But Mr. Kenyatta, speaking at a rally in the southern town of Voi, said, "We have no problem going back to elections. We are sure we will get more votes than the last time." He added, "We are also telling him it is the people's right to choose their leader. It is their sovereign right to choose their leader of choice." By Dickon Zole, BBC News. The withdrawal could be a strategy for Raila Odinga to exit the political scene on his own terms. The annulment of President Uhuru Kenyatta's victory in the 8th of August election was a much-needed political high for Mr. Odinga. He felt vindicated for challenging the election and pushed for changes to the electoral system as a condition for his participation in the rerun. The Electoral Commission has rejected the changes he demanded, largely because of contractual agreements with the companies providing key services for the election. With President Kenyatta's party having won a majority of MPs in both houses of parliament, it is likely that Mr. Odinga was headed for another defeat, and that would be too much for a man who has been nicknamed the Enigma. The legal consequences of Mr. Odinga's withdrawal are unclear. Constitutional lawyers disagree on the way forward and whether the 26th of October election can still take place and if, despite his withdrawal, Mr. Odinga will still be on the ballot. Although many Kenyans are jaded by the never-ending political drama, they will now have to belt up for a drive further into uncharted territory. Mr. Odinga's opposition coalition, the National Super Alliance (NASA), has previously made clear its participation in the election was contingent on reforms being made. But Kenya's Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) says it has made the necessary changes. Prominent opposition Senator James Orengo has called on people to protest on Wednesday, using the slogan "No Reform, No Elections."